Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we're going to be talking about the fasting shrink week.
We're missing a piece of the puzzle.
You start getting healthy and you just become a better person.
We need to start focusing more on the individual.
I can't believe that I haven't done this video yet. I know I've mentioned the fasting shrink week in other videos, but I was going through my catalog and I'm like, man, I've never done a video specifically talking about the fasting shrink week. And this is so huge because it ties into loose skin as well. So what we're going to be talking about today is what the fasting shrink week is and exactly what it means for you. As you're learning about the process of fasting, what the body goes through, there's a lot of terms thrown around that sometimes don't really mean a lot to the layman. Autophagy and HG, keto bodies or ketones, things like that, right? We've got to go and research that. We got to go figure out, what does that mean? That's not common terminology. So today I want to just break this down and make it as plain as possible. When you fast, your body goes through several different steps. The first thing that it does is it starts to break down your glycogen reserves or your sugar reserves. After it does that, it takes about 12 to 16 hours supposedly to do that. The benefits of fasting start to kick in. What we notice is that if you've been fasting for about a 2-week period of time consecutively, you may have been losing on average about 2 pounds per day during this time, which means you could have lost 4 pounds one day, 1 pound the next day, 2 pounds the following day, right? We're talking about a average. So on average, you're losing 2 pounds per day. And then when you hit the 2-week mark, from week 2 to week 3, you tend to not lose any weight at all. Now, once again, this is just taking a large group of people and creating an average of what usually happens. Your individual results may vary. So anyway, that 3rd week, you don't lose weight. And I oftentimes get questions asking me, Chris, I've been fasting for X amount of time. I'm not losing weight anymore. What should I do? What's wrong? Or Chris, I typically lose X amount of weight on my fast, but this time I've been fasting for an entire week and no weight has come off, or I've even gained a pound. What's going on? What am I doing wrong? What do I need to change? And it's crazy because if you're not putting food in your body and you're able to gain weight or you're able to maintain your weight, that right there should be an indicator that we're dealing with a highly dynamic system. The reason I say that is because traditional thought should lead you to believe that if you're not eating, you should lose weight. You certainly shouldn't gain weight. Some people will say that you gain weight due to water retention. The interesting thing about it is, even outside of your traditional water retention or inflammation, you can still gain a little bit of weight. So the body performs this balancing act. But anyway, that's not really the topic of this video. So why aren't you losing weight during the week or whatever it may be? I call it a shrink week because it tends to last a week. It could be a longer period of time. It could be a shorter period of time. Don't get stuck too much on the time frame. But it's a period of time where you're not losing weight. What we tend to find during this time is when the body takes the time to start scooping up that old protein, okay? We've got a lot of bad protein in our system. And we've got a lot of skin, excess skin that we don't need, right? You're losing the weight. You don't need all that skin anymore. So as a part of the process, the body will start to shrink and tighten the skin. Usually during the weeks that you're not losing weight or the time frames that you're not losing weight, you'll notice that you are shrinking You might be able to fit into those clothes that you weren't able to fit into before. That's probably the number one thing that people tell me. Hey, Chris, it's weird. There was a week where I didn't lose any weight, but I also noticed the biggest changes in my clothes. My clothes were falling off. My clothes were baggy, or I was able to get in those jeans that I haven't been able to wear for years. Literally, I hear this all the time. So that's one of the major things that's happening when you are going through your shrink week. I coined it a shrink week because I was like, man, this is a good thing. A lot of people look at it as a bad thing because most people are focused on weight loss when it comes to fasting. And as I like to tell people, weight loss is probably one of the smallest benefits of fasting. It's the most pronounced benefit, right? Because we're very aesthetic in our culture. But it's really just the icing on the cake. It's really just something that happens as a result of you becoming healthier, right? So while the weight loss is like our focal point a lot of times, it's really just a small piece of the puzzle. Now, one of the reasons why the body can't just simply dump all the weight, right? You're losing 2 pounds a day. Why can't the body just continue at that pace? Well, because you have to think about what the fat actually does. The fat is a protective barrier. What it does is absorbs the toxins. It's a regulation system. It allows the body to regulate how much toxicity it's being exposed to at any given time. So think about the fat stores as toxic dumps. Okay, just for this example, if the fat store is a toxic dump, and we're talking about white adipose tissue here, if the fat is a toxic dump, and your body releases all of that fat all at one time, what happens? All of that toxic waste dumps into your system all at one time. Now, think about it. The reason why you stored up that fat in the first place is because your body was not well equipped to properly eliminate the toxins that you were putting in it. Okay? It meant that your elimination system was low functioning. So, what happens if you take a ton of toxins and you dump it into a system where the elimination system is low functioning? I'm sure you guys are getting the picture now. You're going to make yourself very sick. The body's priority is to constantly be moving towards a state of alkalinity, and it's always going to prioritize prolonging life over anything else. So while you may want the aesthetics that come along with losing all the weight, the body doesn't want to kill itself. So it's going to go through its process to make sure that it, number one, doesn't overtoxify you, but also works on the systems that are in place in order to detoxify you properly. It's got to repair your elimination system first, and then it'll time release the toxins. Does that make sense? So we have to look at the body as an intelligent being, right? As an intelligent machine. Fortunately, our body knows better than we do. So it'll do things in the proper manner. It is the worst thing in the world for people to get discouraged during their fasting cycles because they're not losing weight. It's crazy to me because it's literally like one of the best things that can happen to you, and you don't even know it. Your body is doing work that you can't see because it's not something you can measure with the devices you have available, and so you skip over it. Well, actually, you can measure it with devices you have available. A lot of times you can tape yourself. So if you're actively taping yourself as well as measuring yourself, you will get a better overall picture of what your body is doing. But with that being said, even taping yourself may not show truly what the body is doing at all times. You know, obviously fasting works on the mental clarity as well as, you know, spiritual issues, energetic issues. So there's a lot of things that the body tackles when you fast. Weight loss, like I said, is a byproduct of you becoming healthier, but you don't want to rush it. Now, with all that being said, you could experience a shrink week, even if you're doing a fasting cycle of 5 days a week. I just got finished speaking to a young lady who was doing a 5-2 cycle. So she would fast for 5 days and then she'd eat for 2 days. And she experienced this as well. Now, with women, it can be a little bit tricky because women have cycles. So during your menstrual cycle, you could lose weight or you could become, bloated, or, there's a lot of different things you could encounter. the time of the month in general, the phases of the moon tend to affect the body. It's very interesting how things affect our body differently. So there's other factors that may, cause you to retain water or things like that. But if you're fasting, especially doing a prolonged fast, especially if you're doing a pure water fast, trust me, your body is working, even if you can't see it, right? A lot of times it's mental stuff. A lot of time we're releasing trauma. You'll be experiencing cravings and things like that. I don't want to get too far off topic, but the body's amazing, and it's I'm passionate learning and teaching this. For those who are in the Dallas area or, in Texas even, A Healthy Alternative is hosting their very first wellness event, right? You're going to get an opportunity to meet a lot of the people that you've seen interviewed on this channel in person. You'll obviously get a chance to meet me and hear me speak in person. We're going to be talking about a various topics as it relates to overall wellness. And I would encourage you all to definitely attend if you're in the area or if you can afford to make the trip. It's going to be a huge benefit. And of course, you'll get an opportunity to meet the rest of the Healthy Alternative family. If you're not close, you can't attend. Maybe you know someone in the area who can attend. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description area for you guys to check out our landing page that we built on the website, healthyalternative.org. Definitely come check that out. And if you can come, support us. And also, if you have a church group or a work group or something like that, encourage them to come out as well. Make sure to check me out on Instagram. I've been posting recently on Instagram more frequently, so check that out. Check out the Facebook group. Obviously, if you're looking for any type of support or anything of that nature, the Facebook group is phenomenal. We're at 26,000 members and still growing very fast. And of course, I've got Patreon available for anybody who's interested in supporting me more on a personal basis. And I always appreciate all the Patreon members. So that's all we got. For those of you who have been competing in the Biggest Winner contest, keep pushing, keep going strong. We've only got a couple weeks left. And I really look forward to seeing some of your transformations. I know a lot of you guys have been seeing some amazing things happen. You've been, pushing yourself and healthily, is that a word? You've been pushing yourself healthily. And I'm really, really excited for some of the benefits that you guys are telling me that you're seeing from competing in the contest. So I'm really, really happy for you all. Once again, my name is Chris James. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime that I release any new videos. I typically release videos Sundays at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time.